down in the den. So go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, den mates around the universe, around the world, I want to welcome you back to the #1 podcast for independent artists all around the globe. And today we have one of the realest voices, one of the dopest talents, one of the most unique producers shaping the cultures. He's a personal friend of mine, and he's a super, super dope artist. Joining us in the den, Brooklyn bred, lyricist, producer, creative force, the one and only Al Unique. What's up, brother? How are you doing?
Peace, peace, peace.
Man,
Peace, salute. What's good?
Salute,
What's
sunny
good?
side New
Everybody
York.
in the den. How y'all doing? How y'all living? Yeah, man, I'm outside right now.
I love it, man. I love it, man. We're doing great, man. Doing even better now that we get to chat it up, get to talk about some things that we love. #1, hip hop music. So I'm super excited to have you, man. You feeling good?
Yo, I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great, man. This week is an eventful last week, busy as hell. In Brooklyn, we got Labor Day weekend kicking off. That's really big for the Caribbean folks out here. But other than that, we got the show coming up on the 30th at the Delancey, the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And, got Long Live the Righteous dropping the day before that on the 29th, Friday, August 29th. You heard? So, that's really dropping at midnight. So it's going to be streaming on all platforms. Check for it. Al Unique, Long Live the Righteous. Word.
Absolutely. I need y'all to stay up at midnight. Doing what I do. Sometimes I'm blessed with being able to get sneak previews of some phenomenal music. And I've had this album in my I was about to say my CD player, but we don't do that anymore. But I've been streaming this album since my brother graced me with a sneak preview, and it's phenomenal. We're going to talk about it a little bit later on. But it's a phenomenal project. You outdid yourself, man, and I can't wait for you to be able to share that with the rest of the universe, man, because it's a phenomenal project.
Yeah.
So I salute you for putting in that
Yeah,
work.
appreciate it. I mean, no doubt. But not only that, like a lot of people can still check out the singles inside. There's 3 singles out for that right now. Lioness,
Absolutely.
which features my boy C'est La VAP and Ghetto Gentleman, 2 twin brothers that I grew up with, Raza and Ramel. They singing on the hook. Beautiful, beautiful voices. The brothers are doing their thing. And then after that, there's Don't Say Shit, which is a message for all the haters and all you people that's crowd chasing. You know what I mean? That's the other single that's out. And then the first single that came out was Bar Lord. That's just me, spitting to you, my worldview, and what I'm here to do, and so on and so forth. So definitely go check those singles out, as well as my previous EP, Swag and Substance. So definitely check those joints out. And you called it an album, and not for nothing, by today's standards, it would be considered an album. But keeping in the tradition of what I grew up with, like I still call it an EP myself because I keep those same standards. It's like 9 joints, including the skits. It's like 2 skits and 7 songs. To me, that was an EP, and I treat it as such. But if folks want to, if the culture sees it as an album, that's cool. But in my head, it'll always be an EP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm old school with you, definitely. I think Kanye with his 7-song albums just kind of changed the universe and started. I don't know if it's necessarily good, bad. That's not for me to judge. But I think, like you said, growing up, when we grew up, anything less than 12, 13 songs, you get your EP. So, but
Exactly. Matic got the pass.
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Solid 10. But
Yeah.
if you you dropping 10 gems like that, you can call it whatever the hell you want to call it, right?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And not only that, for what Kanye did, time will tell about whether or not if that was good or bad, because we could judge it now, but who knows? Maybe years from now, we'll see that it was actually a good thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those just tuning in who haven't heard your previous work, may have not seen some of our previous interviews, what would you tell those they're just tuning in and they're like, okay, this guy Al Unique, what makes your artistry unique? Uh, give because there's a lot of music out there for people to consume, but what are they getting? What are the consumers getting when they
So,
see
what
Al Unique?
what they getting from me is a type of balance, something that you haven't seen in a long time. So, I consider myself the type of artist where, like, yeah, like a lot of my production, I make my own production and I write. That's not, a lot of cats do that. But I think the difference with me is that you don't hear me approach with like the same flow. I don't have the same approach to everything, that I do, songwriting wise, flow wise, lyrically. Like my style, you don't know, and we are mad. My style, you don't know how I'm going to approach a joint. Like on my last joint, right? Like, you could have a song like um let's say give thanks, my approach to it is crazy different. Like every 4 bars I'm changing up rhyming, but I'm telling the same story. Well, two different stories on there. And not only that, like I feel like my production style is it's definitely soulful. It's definitely boom bap sample and shit like that. But it's not like nothing like you heard. Like you can't hear. Like you definitely recognize it as boom bap when you hear it. But you could say okay, like I can hear like a Q-Tip influence. I can hear a Pete Rock influence and a RZA influence. But I don't sound like them. You know what I
Right,
mean? I'm not trying to imitate them. I'm not trying to emulate what those brothers are doing. You know what I'm saying? Nas is my favorite rapper. You might hear some of his influences, but I don't sound like you can never say I sound like him. There are joints where I might rap and I'm taking my approach is being inspired by Scarface. Like different people who I grew up listening to inspire how I approach things. And the thing is that one day, like there's some shit out there people might hear and they're like, yo, that that flow kind of reminds me of DMX. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not in the aggressive way, but the flow patterns. Like I'm real
right.
meticulous with how I write, with how I do my flow patterns and shit like that. Like, I don't overthink it, but I get into whatever pocket makes sense for that. So therefore, I don't approach it with just one thing. It's like if I'm a ninja or an assassin, you can never trace who did the killing. You know what I'm saying? Like one day I might use a trade on you, the next day I might use an AR. You know what I'm saying to do the job. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever's gonna get the job done. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm a lyrical assassin. You know what I'm saying? Like as if I'm training the art of guerrilla warfare. You use everything in your surroundings, what you have at your disposal to execute the job. So yeah, yo, fuck with your boy, man. Like whatever kind of style if you like hip hop and lyrics, whatever type of style you appreciate, I got it for you. The only thing you're not gonna hear from me is like murder, death, kill shit, because that's not the life I live. I seen that, but that's not the life I live. So I'm never taking no jacks.
And I love that because there's plenty of that out there. If that's your bag, if you want to, I always talk about diet, and when I talk about diet, it's not just the food we consume; it's the music we listen to, the movies we watch, the books we read, the people we're around. All of that is a part of the diet. And when I was listening to the album, and there'll be a review on the Mars Entertainment page once the album drops. And I told you personally it felt like Sunday morning. What I would, my mom used to play Anita Baker and jazz and soul in the morning when we would clean up. I feel for my generation that Long Live the Righteous EP that I would put on Saturday morning, nourish my soul. So, in my notes, and you'll see it more in the review, I put nourishing, full meal, lyrically, the beats. As a beat maker myself, I was just very impressed by your approach and the samples you selected and the sounds. And you could hear the influences, but it's completely, no pun intended, unique from the influence. So you could tell you were taught by greats and inspired by greats, but then took it and made it your own thing. So I can't wait. Those singles that you mentioned are out there, but I can't wait for people to get the whole meal because it's very nourishing, and I salute you for that.
Yeah, I thank you for acknowledging that big time. And like you said, folks could the singles will tell you like a lot of the versatility as far as the approach. But you're right, the production is like on some like a lot of soulful shit, a lot of jazz shit. Some rock shit in there, like psychedelic type shit. But yeah, man, it's hip hop though. You know what I mean? It's
To the
unmistakably hip
core,
hop. It's unmistakably East Coast boom bap. But my way of
to the
doing
core,
it.
to the core. Now, were there any tracks that gave you? I've been making beats for 4 or 5 years now, and I started off, of course, boom bap because that's my heart. Experiment with different sounds to try to be as well rounded as possible, but I always go back to boom bap because that's really where my heart. Were there any tracks that production wise gave you the hardest time, or were there any tracks that came together just the smoothest? Sometimes you'll hear that right loop or that right sample, and it just kind of produces itself. Which tracks on this new project either gave you that
Man,
time or that challenge?
I would like. I think the way came about the easiest. That track, like, it has this like. I took that from like this string jazz record and whatnot, and the song like it just came about so easy because I heard it. I was like, oh shit, that's it. And I took different parts of it and I put it together, and it was just beautiful. And immediately, like the pen started moving. I mean, the pen just started moving automatically. Like the beat was telling me what to say to it, you know. And there was a lot of joints like that. Pyramids and Palaces is another one that's similar to that. That was a Detroit Emerald sample that I used. They, that came together real well too. Just splicing different parts of it, and then having them match the verses. I think I might have wrote the verses first, and then made the beat around Pyramids and Palaces. And but I think the one that came about the hardest, if I was to really think about it, um, man, I think perhaps it was the one that came about the hardest was "Don't Say Shit," which the single is out now. Because I was using a rock sample for that one, right? I gotta go back because I can't remember the name of the group, but I used a rock sample for that one, and like you know, it was easy as hell for me to write to. But getting that beat down because the thing was that like I wanted the like I wanted all that in there, but I needed like the lows. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it was hard to make it not sound cluttered. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have the right speakers to fully appreciate the production on that one, because like the melody and the sample itself is dope, but with the right fucking like speakers and shit, you can hear the lows, you can hear the bass. You know what I mean? You can hear those 808s underneath the track. You know what I mean? If you play it in the whip, that shit will rumble your whip. But it was a track that always frustrated me because I felt like I could never get the sound all the way that I wanted it, as far as that perfect marriage between the melody and the bass. You know what I mean? But still, all in all, like I love that track. it's a beautiful track. You know, like this the change up in the beat and everything, which I like to do. But I love that.
You definitely climbed the pinnacle on that one. Hard work leads to great rewards, and it came out with a fantastic track. Now, fast forward, we got the EP dropping on the 29th, the 30th. We got a big showcase to Delancey, Lower Manhattan, as you mentioned. What can fans expect from your live performance? Because you know that's another art part of the art form that you're so well versed at. What can the fans this
Yeah.
Saturday expect from you?
Well, they're gonna expect like a real show. I'm not new to performing. I've been doing this shit a long time, like going back like 20 years now, more than that. Um, so yeah, like what they could expect really is like a fucking show. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be, fucking interacting with you. I'm not just gonna be standing there rapping song after song, like just to show you my song list. um, I'm gonna really like take you behind the scenes of making some of these songs, what some of these songs mean to me, you know, and even for songs that might seem chill when you listen to them, on stage, that's not you're gonna get a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, expect like a whole show. Expect basically like a conversation with each other. That's what it's gonna be like.
I love that. I love that. Now, let's fast forward a year. We're talking this time 2026. What impact do you want this EP and this project at this moment in time to have on your career? Because, like I said, you put some hard work in, and it's always good to sit back after it's done and the work has been put out. What do you want from this project, or what impact do you want from this project?
Yo, what I want is for people to recognize my production game. You know what I mean? Like on the real for real. I want you motherfuckers to start hitting me up for some goddamn beats. You know what I'm saying? Because I got them in store. You know what I mean? And really, if you're looking for a particular type of sound, in this pocket of hip hop that we in, you know what I mean? I listen to a lot of shit, a lot of dope producers out there, but ain't none of them doing shit like the way I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like I much respect to everybody out there. Big ups to my man August Fanon. Big ups to Wavy. You know what I mean? The God. All these people out there that's just doing their thing. You know what I mean? Enough respect to them. But my shit is different. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear my shit, you're gonna want to lay a verse over the shit that I got for real. You know what I mean? Like I'll tailor make that shit for you. You know what I mean? Let me know what you want. But I want people to recognize that. I want people to recognize the people I fuck with, like C'est La Vie AP, who's gonna be performing with me on this Saturday. My man G Finesse. I want people to recognize that these cats are real talented out here. You know what I mean? These young boys ain't all just drill music type cats, and that's cool. And these cats could do that too. They've done that. But they the young boys out here, the YNs, they a little bit more versatile than we give them credit for. So yeah, I want people to get all of that out of me. And then
Absolutely, and all they need is an opportunity. I feel it's a lot of young creatives out here that unfortunately are being told or instructed wrong to just do this instead of just really doing it for the art. So I hope those connections could be made. And hell, you might be hearing from me. I might need to get some beats from you, man, because like I said, there will be a Mars project before the end of the year. I've laid some things. I
you
just
let
need
me
some.
know.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Where can the people find you if they want to make that connection? If they want to hit you up for a verse, hit you up for a track, what's the best way
Yo,
for them to get in touch with
DM me on Al Unique, all spelled the way you see it on the screen, but one word, Al Unique underscore noise with a Z. That's Al Unique underscore noise with a Z. So that's Al Unique underscore Noize on Instagram. DM me there, all right? And I'll
you? Perfect.
respond, and we can make it happen. You see it right there, yup.
right there on the
Exactly.
screen. Do yourself a favor. If you're a hip hop head, go on your favorite streaming platform, type in Al Unique. You'll see what he's done. And he's done some phenomenal work. And this, in my opinion, so far is most well-rounded, nourishing project. And this first project,
I appreciate that,
phenomenal as
brother.
well. But this one, you outdid yourself. So once again, I can't salute you enough for what you put down.
I appreciate that, brother. Big time. I definitely appreciate that.
Well, Al, man, thank you so much for blessing the den with your story, your energy, this incredible new project. To all den mates listening, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform or if you're watching on YouTube, I want you to make sure to run up those streams. Check out the brand new project dropping this week, August 29th. Long live the righteous. Al Unique, pick that up. And if you're in the New York City area, pull up. $10 at the door at the Delancey. Show starts at 6 p.m. if I'm not mistaken.
Yup.
Uh,
Yup.
so
168 Delancey Street, Lower East Side, New York, New York. 168 Delancey Street. Hosted by my
please,
man Johnny Raps. Happy
yes,
birthday, God.
shout out to our brother Johnny Raps. It's $10 at the door. So please show up. It's gonna be unique. Al Unique's gonna be there, Raps gonna be there. It's
Shea
a whole
Poso.
a peso. It's a whole litany of phenomenal artists. So for $10, that that's a practically stealing. Y'all stealing right now. So please, if you can make it out, make it out. And as we do, we always want to show support. So if you comment, the first person that comments the secret word, if you're in the New York area, I will get you 2 tickets to the show. Our secret word is unique. Put that in the first person. Put it on. Hit you in your DMs. Not like that, but I'm gonna make sure you get 2 free tickets. And hell, I might even buy you a drink if you partake in the alcohol. That's what we doing to show that love. But brother, man, I appreciate you so much for joining me back. I'll see you this weekend, I guess.
Yes, sir, Mars. We'll see each other this weekend, bro.
Absolutely. Well, team,
All right.
thank y'all for tuning in. Al, I
Salute.
appreciate you. We're gonna end this episode like we end every single episode. It's all about peace, love, unity, and respect. We out of here. Deuces.
Salam. Peace.
Peace.
All right.